everyone, I'm Alka and you're watching Success Stories talk show presented by Trident Communications. Our guest for today is the Lord Rami Ranger. He's a British businessman and the founder of Sunmark, an international marketing and distribution company. He's also the chairman and managing director of Sea, Land and Air Forwarding Limited. He started his business from £2 in 1987, which has now become £200 million turnover. He won an unprecedented 5 Queen's Award for Enterprise, and he was also credited the Baron Ranger of Mayfair in the city of Westminster in 2019. So, to know more about his journey, let's welcome Lord Rami to our show. Hello, sir. Good evening. How are you?
I am very well, and good evening to you, Alka. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
It's a great honor for us to have you here on this episode of Success Stories. So, sir, you started your life as a refugee boy in 1947 during the partition. So, please tell us something about yourself and how did the journey begin?
I started my life journey under the most appalling condition. India was divided, there was partition, there were riots. My father was a political leader. He was against the partition of India because he could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. He warned the then Muslim leader not to cut and run, that if you create a country on the basis of hatred for others, how will you remove that base? We will never see peace, we will never see harmony. Today we are united, tomorrow we'll be rival. So whatever he said has come true, but unfortunately he was marked man by the uh, separatist people who wanted to divide India. And one day, a student of DAV school, Multan, took out a procession against the partition of India, and they got caught in communal riots. My father, being a community leader, went to save the student. He managed to save the student, but he was assassinated in the process. And at the young age of 42. So my mother, who was expecting me at that time, was only 35 years old, and we became destitute. We lost our breadwinner, country, ancestral home, and we just became refugees. So we came on a refugee train to Firozpur. But thankfully, my father's reputation saved us. As you know, the trains were full with people. You could not get on the train. People were hanging from the windows. They were sitting on the rooftop. And but luckily, my father's reputation was such that the engine driver recognized my father, and he offered to give us place on the coal tender. You know where you keep colas? Yeah, coal tender. So we sat. We were eight of us, seven brothers, one sister, my mother, and we all sat and all became black with the cold suit. And I remember my brother tell me when engine used to whistle, I used to go blue with fright. So they used to put their hands on my ears. So journey was just a few hours journey, took nearly a whole day, and it was frightening experience. The train will stop and start, and people will come, attack, loot, whatever. It was an easy target. So it was horrible time. So I was born in the most unfortunate circumstances. The country was divided. There was uh, riots everywhere, and then luckily Maharaja Patiala had opened refugees camps in Patiala. So we arrived in a refugee camp. But as they said, the saving grace was our mother. Even though she was told by her own brothers to give up these children to orphanage, you won't be able to manage. But she said, no, I will never give in. I will never give up, no matter what the fate throws at me. So I'll accept the challenge. So, but luckily, she was very intelligent, very resourceful. When people were collecting their clothes, jewelry, precious possessions, she decided to collect my father's press cutting, certificate, letters from his friends, because my father's class fellows were the first foreign minister of India, Swaran Singh, and the speaker of House of Common, Hukam Singh, the governor. So he was a elite of the man. So he collected all these letters, newspaper cuttings, and he came and he presented to the then chief minister of Pepsu. Punjab was not big Punjab; it was a Pepsu state, and he said, "This is what I was, and this is what I've become. You must help me." And they were really moved and shaken with the story of a great man who gave up his life for the unity of India. So they said, "You please go." They gave some men go and find a house. If there's, because Muslims were also abandoning their property in the Indian side. So if you can find a property empty, we will open up the locks and you can take that. So we got a house. We took a possession of the house. Then he asked my mother, "Are you educated?" And my mother said, "Yes, I'm up to metric." It was a big thing for women to educate, to go to school or college. But my father, again, being a visionary, and he said to my mother, "I feel embarrassed when you talk to my mem sahib, English lady," because my father was a police inspector, which he gave up because he was asked to open fire on unarmed protesters, which he refused. But anyway, so my mother was taught by my father, and then she enjoyed studies so much that she started to go to schools and this, and then she became up to metric. So then she got a job in a kindergarten school, ABC, and so we struggled. But the mantra was that you will starve, but you will study, no matter what happened. So that's how, with immense difficulty, we were brought up. And the same mother gave 5 sons to the defense of India. They were commissioned officer for 3 wars with Pakistan, and my mother got the proudest Indian mother title from the Tribune newspaper. And this is a remarkable story. Never give up, never give in, no matter what the fate throws at you. And on that basis, I have lived my life. I came to this country in 71 when this country was not as friendly to Indians as it is today. It was a very hostile place. There was a lot of prejudice, a lot of bigotry, and racial discrimination because we were just, a newly independent country, and we were also struggling. India was struggling, and all the bad news used to come from India. Accident, train has overturned, or people have died of illicit liquor, or beggars and snake charmers or whatever. But they say you must remain positive in a negative situation. If you become negative in a negative situation, that compounds itself. You don't destroy anything, you destroy yourself. So the idea was my mother's teaching helped me throughout my life. And as you know, because people are judged by the values they have, which is it's a value system, which will make or break you. So then I decided to I came here to study Bharat law, which I couldn't study because of the financial restraint. I decided to go back. Then I said, "I've sold my motorbike, I sold my clothes, I've sold everything. People will laugh at me. Let me get some money, and then I come back." So I started, looking for a job. Wherever you went, they asked for experience. They asked for, you know, some sort of knowledge. I had nothing. So in the end, reluctantly, I became a car cleaner. So my journey in UK started my employment as a car cleaner. But again, hope sustained throughout life. You always maintain a hope. They say people don't dream, don't achieve much. So I always had this hope that one day I will achieve for which the Almighty has meant for me. So I and then luckily I got a job as a cook in KFC. That was a great breakthrough for me. I didn't have to clean cars. I didn't have to smell paraffin, all the chemicals, de-waxing cars. Car used to come from factory, which we had to de-wax them, clean them for sales. Anyway, so I worked there, but because they had no idea of my hidden agenda was to make as much money as I can to go back. So I worked as a cook. I never gave them a lip service. Whatever they said, I said, "Okay, we'll be done," because I realized my boss has more balls in the air I don't want to add more pressure by saying, no, I can't do this, it can't be done. So I try to be positive and constructive. Whenever he wanted something, I said, yes, I'll do that. He liked my attitude to the extent that as he got promoted, he promoted me because he knew, business is a game of people. You can't run it alone. So you need people you can trust, you can rely, you can depend. And I made sure that I will be a loyal, hardworking, dependent person. And I will tell you a story. When I used to do all sorts of work for my boss, one guy, my junior, told me, he said, "Don't you realize the boss is using you?" And my reply to him was, "Yes, I am worth using. You are not." So, so therefore, people will use you if you have something to offer. You won't use the rubbish. It says totally rubbish, it's no good to you. So therefore, I remained positive and I became manager. From manager, a district manager. I always remain number one because my mother had taught me five principles in life. As a teacher, she was very good in giving examples and proverbs. She will always say, "Son, you should never feel embarrassed when you're working, no matter how small the job is. Because if you're not fit for small job, you're not fit for bigger job. So you will become better by doing a small job good." And then she also said, if you are to feel embarrassed, you should feel embarrassed when you're stealing or you're cheating somebody. But if you're cleaning cars or you're cleaning streets or whatever you're doing, the menial job, that is a dignity of labor. You shouldn't feel ashamed of it. You're working. Yes. And efforts are in our hand, rewards are in the hand of God. You do your best and leave the rest to Almighty. And this is the journey. I became a successful number one district manager running 10 store. And then I was made redundant. Then I joined electrical whole company, Curry's and Dixon's. And from there, I decided to start my own business. So that's how my journey started into my own business. So
That is such an inspiring journey, sir. Like from the time of partition to everything that you did throughout, it is like a life full of challenges and still standing strong against those challenges. So that is really inspiring.
challenges are part of life. Yes, nothing is perfect, and as I said, things are desirable but not practical. I desire, I have this, I desire. But the best way to lead your life is to be content. Yeah, whatever, जिस रंग में परमेश्वर राखे उसी रंग में रहना. If God puts you in any condition, you accept with gracefully, and you will not be disappointed or you will not feel frustrated. You will feel accepted. Accept the will of God, and then you work hard to improve your lot. So that's how we started. And then I started my business because there was so much prejudice. They wouldn't give you promotion and they would treat you so badly. And they say when a bad employer doesn't look after his staff, he goes and work for the competition. In those days, even the competition didn't want us. Yes. So we had no choice but to go for our own shop. So this turned out to be blessing in disguise. More and more people bought their own shops, corner shop, newspaper shop, grocery shop, petrol station, for pharmacies. They That's how we became a business community, because now we were master of our own destiny. There was nobody to tell us, nobody to treat us bad. But now again, I compliment our community. They worked hard and they brought respect to Mother India. And today, Indians are the most respected people in the Great Britain. Even the government, we have three Secretary of State and also the Attorney General. So that just shows you from where we started and where we are today. It is the value, because we are a 5,000 or 7,000 years civilization. Many people tried to destroy, but they did not succeed. We still prevail. And our values, जो माँ को बाप को बाप, बहन को बहन, इस treat करना, that values must remain part of our life if we are to, for example, women empowerment is a prerequisite for success of any country or society. Where women are not empowered, that community does not go far. And I am a living example to tell you that thank for God, my mother was empowered and she was able to manage 8 children and turn them from destitution to an asset where they all contributed a great deal to their country of mother country. So that's how it is. The mother women powers we should never underestimate. With those who turn asset into liability, they struggle all their life.
Now that we have known about your journey, sir, our audience would love to hear how you started your business from just £2 and converted it to like 200 million pound turnover. So please tell us something about that.
It's very simple. I will tell you, audience, first thing first, knowledge is very important. You know, people make money, money doesn't make money. And you can see I had nothing. Even at time, my mother will bring clothes from rich people and give it to us. So money is made by people. So remember, you have the ability, you're blessed, you're given all the quality, but you have to use it. But unfortunately, many people don't use their skills, their ability to their full advantage. And you have to stop and think. And when you stop and think about yourself, about your strength, about your ability, you will discover a great deal about yourself which you did not know. So my job was to find the best in me by analyzing myself and thinking. And the idea is very simple, that you have to be the best among the rest, not because you can wear better clothes or you can talk the talk. You have to add value to whatever you do. Yes, even when you're selling, let's say, McDonald's, and anybody can sell McDonald's, but somebody who will be polite, wish you good morning, how are you, what can I do, blah, blah, blah. Something extra than McDonald's will bring respect to that person and to the establishment. So you always think, whatever you do, what extra can I give? Which, the job, otherwise job is job. If somebody tells, take one paper, put it on that place, table, and you just keep doing it. But if you were to just arrange it in such a way that it looks good, then you will be noticed. So I decided that I'm going to add some value to whatever I do, and the value was that I'll work harder, I'll work more uh, as a committed. And there are 5 principles which are very important in life, and we all are born with them. You don't have to go to Harvard or Cambridge to know these principles. They are very simple principles. And I show you my 5 hand. Self-respect is very important. It is up to us to maintain our respect. Respect is not a divine right. You have to come to work on time. You have to be presentable. You have to be polite. You have to be honest, committed. People respect you. You earn your respect through your own actions and deed. Yes. So that self-respect. If people are insulting you, abusing you, you're coming late, you're not going to go far. That means you have lost. Once you lose your respect, you lose your drive to achieve anything. It is for self-respect that you want to achieve something in life. So that's number one. Number two is ethics. Work ethic is very important. When you working for somebody, they pay you salary, they give you a desk, they give you all the uh, equipment or the facility, but then you don't work. Yes, ethics is very important. That somebody has paid you money, let's give them pound of flesh. Yes, we work ethically. We come on time. We go on leave on time, and we make sure during the time we are not stopping other people from working by chatting to them. Yes, we are not a disruptive force. We are constructive. We're working like team. We're not opposition to the boss. Yeah, so ethically very important. Yes, people are not suffering. If you're in business, you're not shortchanging your customer, you're not overcharging them, you're not short-dated goods or overstocking them. So ethically, so you are now ethically you pay your suppliers on time. Ethically, you look after your staff, your junior staff. You don't treat them like typewriter. You explain to them the rationale behind your instructions, so they do understand where you're coming from. Ethically, your customers are not suffering with the attitude, I'm all right, Jack, is not going to take you far. If our motto is we only succeed when our customers succeed. We work hard for the success of our customer, which in turn become our success. So ethics are very, very important. Yes, you're paying income tax, you're not cheating. All these things are very important. They're small things, but they're very important things because they are the core. Yes. So commitment is very important. Number three, no matter how clever you are, if you're not willing to put your effort, you're not willing to get your hand dirty, forget it. Yeah. Commitment is very important, that you are working, you're making sure you are meeting deadline, you're finishing your work on time. And those who watch the clock continue to watch the clock, whilst those who watch their work surge ahead. So commitment is very important. You don't have to be clever, but you have to be committed. You must have heard of the story about hare and tortoise. You remember the story? Kachua and हिरन, क्या था वो, rabbit, yeah, खरगोश, उसकी story. You सुनी है ना? So you remember that story. So you carry on commitment.
Absolutely, sir.
And the other one is you have to have vision. अगर vision ही नहीं तो you are like a headless chicken, unable to find your destination. मैंने कहाँ जाना है? So you have to know कि मैं where I am, where I wish to go, and how will I get there. They're all very easy, and I will tell you later on that how you can achieve your dreams to be where you are, where you wish to be. So vision बहुत जरूरी है. Yes, कि मैं कोई काम अच्छा करूँगा. I will do something good to progress. Yes, I have to be competent in my job to get promotion. Yeah, otherwise people will just pass me over. They will not just give me. So I have to be ready for that. The fifth, the most important is empathy. Empathy. You have to empathize with people. Yes, empathy for your junior, empathy for your senior. You can't give pressure to your senior. Yeah, you have to take pressure off them. Only then they will respect you. And to your junior, you have to make sure that they also realize their ambition with the right coaching knowledge you impart into them. Yes. So you empathize with your customer. Just make sure that you empathize is very, very important. You treat people the way you want to be treated. So these are five principles. It doesn't take much to apply, but people will not apply. That's the thing. It's a good medicine is when you take, and good advice when you act upon it. Unfortunately, people just say, I know it all. They ignore it. So
So, sir, we also know that you also authored this book called From Nothing to Everything, an inspiring business autobiography. So, what was the idea behind that? And would you like to tell us something about that book?
okay, but then uh, the idea behind writing autobiography was, there were riots in this country, in UK. There were a lot of riots, and young men and women were going around looting shops, destroying people's hard-earned properties. It's not easy to build a little empire, and these guys just go and smash and set fire. And I was very disturbed, and I said, look, I never had anything. They still live in England. I was in India, a relatively poor country. We never had so many things. At times, we didn't even have enough food on a table or clothes properly or whatever. But we never resort to riots and breaking properties or looting people. Yes, we worked hard to be where we are. So I said, I'll share my story with these people that, you don't, by through smash and grab, you don't become successful. If you take my property, my factory through smash and grab, you won't know how to run it. Yes, you won't know. So therefore, by attacking people, by destroying properties, you are actually destroying your own nation and the prosperity. So I thought I'll share my story. I had no father, no elite education, no family wealth, no old schoolboy network, and no relative to support because we were all refugees. Yeah, they were, we were totally in a very dire state. And I came as an immigrant in this country with so many minus points. The color was wrong, the food was wrong. There was time they would say, we can't stand curry. Now they can't get enough of it. Yeah, that is how much we changed their attitude by being positive. So, they were very derogatory to our food, our language, our accent, our education, our work experience, everything was wrong. Yet we accepted those challenges and remained positive and worked to tell the story that nothing is impossible if you are prepared to condition yourself and to use your ability to the maximum. So that's how I wrote my book, that from nothing to everything is a story which tells people how to build up your dreams. For example, you were asking about the business. So at that time, we were not getting any opportunity. So we decided to start my business. And because I had no money, so I decided to go for service industry. Service industry, you don't need capital. Yes, it's like a doctor, accountant, solicitor. Yes, teacher. They sell their own services. They don't need a big warehouse or big shop, showroom or equipment or stock or anything. You're selling. So my job was very simple. Because I work for electrical company, I realized that people from Africa, Middle East, Caribbean, they come to United Kingdom, they buy electrical goods, TV, radios, microwaves, washing machine, fridges, and they take it back to their country, rich people. And they have to take it unaccompanied baggage, because accompanied baggage is very expensive, because the airline do not want people to come to airport with big machine, washing machine, so they are very, very expensive. It costs you 20 pound a kg. But on the other hand, if you send it unaccompanied, it's 1 pound a kg, where you have to go and collect it from the cargo section. So to manage the traffic at the airport, so there is a facility. So I thought I could do that. I could go and pick up electrical goods from shops in central London. There are one or two very famous roads, Edgware Road and Tottenham Court Road. I'll go and tell them, look, I can take your customer's product from A to B, reliable service, affordable prices, and reputation. It was very difficult journey because people don't trust you in the beginning. But somehow my mother used to say, son, the world run on the basis of good people. You will always find somebody to help you, and you have to keep looking. And I kept looking for good people, and that's where I discovered the difference between good and bad people. Good people always let me ship their cargo, and the bad people refused. So there you are. So there were good people who helped me, and I was very careful, again, adding value. So when I picked up the video, TVs or microwave, I'll make sure I pack it very properly, cover them with a brown paper so people don't know what's inside and they don't steal in Africa. If a Hitachi or Panasonic video is lying there, it attracts. So my job was to cover them up, pack them, strap them, and my reputation was traveling on the cargo. And adding value, people were so happy, so satisfied with my business. My business just grew and grew and grew. And in the end, people then started, because all the rich people, they have other cargo as well. So they'll call me, Rami, can you pick up from Harrods my beds? Can you pick up my bedding or pillows or furniture? So my job, it become everything which you want to buy from a rich country. So then in luck would have it, some guys asked me to bring their supermarket product. In rich Africa, the rich people like to eat English biscuit. Even in India, people want imported wines, imported, whiskey, they imported juices or whatever. So my job was to collect from six, seven, eight places, bring them into my warehouse, consolidate, load them into container, because nobody can buy full container of baked bean, full container of ketchup, full container of salad. So they buy small, small, but they buy regularly. So I became their supplier. My job was to collect and send it. But then again, luck would have it, people were getting difficulty, facing difficulty sourcing product. And I said, if I help them, I help myself. Let me, because they're in Africa, Middle East, they don't have the time, they don't know how to deal with UK people. So I will deal with them. So I start talking to suppliers, and I started to get product for them. And I had no idea that unwittingly I removed 7, 8 profit center, because now they were buying direct from me. They didn't have to go from 6, 7, 8 suppliers, and they were getting product much cheaper. I was only interested in making freight money, shipping charges. So I did not. There were no delivery charge to pay. They were all coming to me, and then they say you make profit while buying. If your buying is right, your selling is automatically right. So I was able to save them £2,000 a container. And before I could realize, I had a queue of people willing to do business with me. And I had my business just snowballed. And then I approached many big companies if I can become their agent in a country where they don't have their distributors or offices. And I got lucky with some. And then one good thing led to another. Then I realized there's a market for Mercedes, but there's also market for Toyota. Not everybody can afford Chanel bag, but they still need a good bag. Yes. So I decided to go back to the companies, and I said, you spend a lot of money on advertising, marketing, distribution, sales force, your salesman, company car expenses. There's so much cost, but I export the cargo. I don't need all that paraphernalia. If you make the product for me, uh, you just charge me for manufacturing cost. I will do all my marketing. You spend 20 on marketing, I'll spend two. And there is another thing. Business is all about merger, acquisition, and strategic alliance. In order to grow your business, you have to either merge with somebody or acquire somebody or to build a strategic alliance with somebody. As I only started with £2, I couldn't acquire anybody. Nobody wanted to merge with me. So I was left with a third option to build strategic alliance. So I worked hard. I went to exhibitions all over the world to find potential distributor customer. They say hidden talent is no talent. You have to tell the world what product, what services you have, what benefit you can bring to the table. So that was the job I made. Then I talked to this distributor. He said, look, I can give you the same product under different brand, 30 to 40% cheaper. Yes. And they said, that will be magic. So I went back to manufacturer. They said, you have to pay us upfront for packaging. You have to pay us for the stock, and you have to commit to minimum order at a time. And I had a strategic alliance with 7, 8, 10 people. I said, look, I'll get 20 pallet. You each have to take 2 pallet each. Yes. So we will just share. And then how do you market new product? There are 3 ways you can market your product. There is, because being a poor, I always opted for the cheapest option. So number one option is to spend money on advertising, as the big boys do, big companies do, and then the product becomes very expensive. Yes, branded product. The second one, you have been in the market for 20, 30 years. You have grown organically, like Dabur India, 100 years old country. Yes. And now me, third type guy, how will I make my name? Now I again thinking, I said, what is brand? What are the brand? I recovered the brand that I trust. People trust brand. When people walk into supermarket, they don't have the time to read the label, to know what is best, what is cheaper. They grab what they know, yeah, the brand, and they walk away. So the trust. This idea came to me. If your child come through the door in a room full of people, stranger, where will he go? He'll go first to the father or mother because he knows them. And then the uncle will come to the boy, he say, how are you? What's your name? And he will build his trust. And they will go to that uncle as well. So building trust. So I realized that I have to now build a trust. Now, how do you build a trust? It's all simple. If you imagine mother trying to feed the child first time, child will close his or her mouth. He is very scared. What the hell she's going to shove in my mouth? But then mother will force feed the baby, and the child will try a little bit. And he said, that's all right. That's very tasty. He will eat it, and the next spoon, before the next spoon reaches in the air, his mouth opens. He built the confidence. Yes, confidence ho gaya. So that's what the principle I started. I said, I will give sampling to people. I will force feed these guys, customer. I'll give them sample. They have nothing to lose. They will try. And then if they like the product, they buy the product because it's 30, 40% cheaper anyway. So I gave them the product. And the other thing is, they say anyone can draw a line, but the person who knows where to draw a line is called an architect. They know where the lines go. So similarly, I realized that people acquire taste, over the year. Haldiram, they want Haldiram. Yeah, I said, I have to give them the taste which they have come to enjoy. It cannot be different. Yeah, I have to. So my aim was to give them product, go to this manufacturer and convince them to make under my label. He said, look, you are dealing with the top end of the market. I will deal with the bottom end of the market. And you will now have two bites of the cherry. I will get you more business. So I convinced them and they've started making. Now people are enjoying the same product, same taste, same quality at 30 to 40% cheaper. And the business just snowballed. And in the process, it grew 30% year on year on year. We are now in 130 countries and we won Queen's Award for Enterprise in International Trade by competing with the best in Britain on record 5 consecutive years. No other British company has this accolade to date. And I dare say it'll be very difficult unless that person happened to be an Indian.
Okay, so sir, now we know your journey through the business and everything that you did throughout your life. Now the question is, when you were a very successful British businessman, how did you shift to politics? Like, why do you think that that would be somewhere you would want to go?
Alka, this is a very, very important question. They say for evil to flourish, all it takes is for good people to do nothing. We are a democratic country, India, UK, and in democracy needs good people to make the democracy work. Now, I got into politics for one reason alone, that we were kicked out of Uganda, Burma, and Fiji. The Indians were too busy making money and socializing. Big wedding, big car, big houses, big jewelries. Yes, lavish restaurant, khana pina. They were not in public or political life. Then it dawned on me what happened to the Jewish people in Germany. They were doing exactly what the Indians are doing. I said before things get out of hand in United Kingdom, we got to do something to educate these people. That look, your house will be on fire. Mr. Shah's house is on fire. The fire brigade man will come very slowly. Let the bastard go to hell. Too big house, too rich. He has not joined the police. He has not joined the army. He done nothing for the UK. All he done is milking the country. So, or Mr. Singh's son has been attacked by racists, and the ambulance will say, let him suffer. We'll take our time. The prejudice, yeah. So you have to have checks and balances. You have to be a decision maker yourself. You have to be in power to make sure that democracy is not in the hands of wrong people. So it took us nearly 20 years going place to place, talking to people, telling them the merit that you are no longer immigrant, you are here in this country, your generation will live and work here. And if you don't take part in the decision making process, somebody else will take decision for you, and they'll be very detrimental. So, a lot of people were laughing at me, you know, that this man's crazy talking about politics. Yes, but in the end, we never gave up. We never give in, as my mother said, carry on. And today I am very proud that the Indians are now taking part in the politics, and we have done so well. And the British have realized we enriched their commercial life, their cultural life, and now we are enriching their political life as too. So it's good. Democracy should reflect, the government should reflect the makeup of modern day Britain. Yes, because and that is how we started. And I think I'm very proud to say we also have young generation coming forward. We have record number of Indian children willing to become member of parliament, My own daughter is a
That's
counselor. So I think the longest journey begin with a single step. So somebody somewhere has to take that step, and we're proud that things are now in our favor.
That's great, sir. So, in your when we heard about your journey, we already saw the kinds of challenges you faced and the person that you are today, what all went behind that. But we would like to know who has been your biggest support and your inspiration in this entire journey.
You know, Alkai, this is the most important question you asked. As I said before, business is a game of people, and no one can achieve much alone. Behind every successful man, there are so many people supporting that person. And first of all, the biggest inspiration was my mother, who demonstrated to me that that she kept going under the most challenging circumstances. And I am here to tell you the story. So she was a great strength and inspiration. Then my wife, Renu, she was highly educated when she got married to me. She still is very clever, intelligent. She studied in Loreto Convent School in Delhi, Lady Shriram College. So they say you're judged by the company you keep. Because of her company, my English improved, my other things improved, and so many things. And she worked with me shoulder to shoulder. When I started my business, she supported me. When we had shops, corner shops, or whatever, she was there, because we never, in Asia, never made it big in the beginning. We started from corner shop, selling penny sweets or whatever, and she was with me all the time. And when I worked, looking, was trying to build my business, she was looking after the children, the family. If I had to watch my back, then I could never watch my front. So therefore, I pay, and then my staff in my company who share my vision, and they give me 110%. Because of without them, we wouldn't be where we are. Winning one Queen's Award is very difficult. To win five will be impossible without the support and help of dedicated staff. So I have amazing, amazing people who give everything they have. And the result, I always tell people, if you look at the flag on top of a building, you'll see the flag, but you don't see the invisible wires holding the flag upright. So I am that flag, but there are so many invisible wires keeping me upright. So I am very grateful to so many people, the supplier who helped me, the customer who helped me. It's a complete chain of people. Without one, I could not have made the journey as interesting as it is today.
It is great that you have such a staff and such employees who are there to back you up no matter what the situation is. And we are really glad that you shared this with us.
Alka, you have to set the standard example for follow. Nobody's born bad. Nobody's born intolerant. People around them will motivate them, change them. Yes, when we are born, we are not racist, are we? But somebody will influence us to make us. So therefore, a boss or somebody has to set the example for other people to follow. Because if you are lazy, you're not cutting corner. You're cutting corner. You're not setting standard, then the whole chain will deteriorate.
That's true. So, sir, what would you like to say about the Indian diaspora shaping up in the UK and in larger terms in Europe?
Very good question, Alka. Look, in 1947, two countries were created. One to promote people on the base of religion, and the other to promote people regardless of their religion. And the result are in front of us. We are so grateful to the founding father of India, who gave us a secular democratic constitution where everyone is equal, including women. You can imagine people, women are like you are a pride of India. Yes, we have had women leader. We have in judiciary, in the army, in the air force, navy. They are playing a very, very important role. So therefore, equality for women, equality for religion is very paramount. And no country can move forward while systematically discriminating against a section of our own population. What difference does it make what I eat, what I wear? What matters is my action, my deeds are. My, what do I do? Yeah, after wearing a nice clothes or after eating a nice food, what do I do with it? So that is very important. So hatred on the name of race, religion, gender is totally unacceptable if we are to progress and become a world power in not too distant future. So I'm grateful to the Constitution of India, which allowed us to share values with other civilized countries. So when we come to United Kingdom, we feel home away from home. So we can integrate very quickly. Yes, we don't live in ghettos, you know. So like Chinese people, they live in ghettos because they are not liberated. We are liberated. We enjoyed freedom right from the day one. Yeah. So these are the Indian diaspora has brought Indian values. That is, values are making this country much more successful, much more vibrant, and in business, the Indians have invested a lot of money in United Kingdom, and the richest man in United Kingdom is Indian. Hinduja brothers, you must know that. Yes, even Lakshmi Mitra is not too far away. So the top rich people are Indian. Politics is doing very well in Indian. Even in our music is Bollywood is in UK, is played at the weddings and discos. And our food is so popular. Our beautiful colors, our women dress so magnificently, and they bring so much color and happiness. So in all, we are a positive force. We spend great deal of money on our children. Our children are high achiever only because husband and wife can work and bring two income to give their children the best possible income education. So the Indians commit very little crime. They pay higher taxes. They claim very less benefit. So overall, it's a good news.
That's great. And since you talked about children, that brought this question up all of a sudden, that what is your viewpoint about the youth?
Youth, our
Yeah.
youth, our youth is now very fortunate. Yes, they are in a country, India is leading force in IT, pharmaceutical, cinemas, in many areas. They have born in a country where they are really fortunate to utilize their skills and abilities. So I think they are getting full respect in the world. Indians are now very respected. I remember a day when my bank manager refused to give me loan. He said, looked at me, he said, look, I said, I want to buy a property. He said, no, it's a very ambitious plan. Bank can't support it. Luckily, my mother's word, remember, that there's good people everywhere. Just keep looking. So I walked to another bank. I said, can I see the bank manager? He said, no, sorry, you don't have an appointment. Then I went to another bank manager shop. He said, do you bank with it? No. So I'm sorry, we can't help you. Then I went to the fourth bank, and the bank manager came out and he looked at my face. Was really, I was not a white man, but I was looking like a white man. I was really, uh, desperate look on my face. He said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Look, I've banked with that manager for 15 years. I have a property I want to buy. I have the money. I have the security. My business is doing well." But he thinks it's over ambitious. How does he know about my ambition? How does he know about my ability? And the bank manager at the other, this one, he said, "How soon you want the money?" He liked my confidence. And I said, "Within 7 days." He said, "You'll have it. Go." So within 7 days, I bought that warehouse for 180,000, sold it for 300,000. Then I bought another warehouse for 500,000. Then I sold it for £1 million. Then I bought another warehouse for 6 million pounds. Today I have 75 million pounds worth of warehouses. So that just shows one step gone wrong, every step goes wrong. So therefore, never give up, never give in. And our youth today are the pride of our country. They are going to determine the respect for Mother India. So they must take their responsibility, seriously. And their parents are investing in their education. They're sacrificing a great deal so they can give them the best. So the children or the youth, I'm very optimistic. They're doing so well. All the blue chip companies are run by Indian these days, from Microsoft to Google to Adobe to Unilever. So there you are, and I'm very optimistic that people will be paying premium to hire an Indian, yeah, in not too distant future.
That is some great amount of optimism, and we hope that that's how it works. But sir, we also know that you are a social activist. So, how do you help the society for a good social change?
Look, so Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see." Yes, look at the inspirational life of Mahatma Gandhi. He was a barrister from a rich family because nobody could study law at that time if they were not financially strong. I could not study. Anyway, so he was financially strong. He was a powerful man. He gave up everything for a cause, and the cause was freedom of his country. And look today, because of that one person's vision, we are now treated equally in the world. And we are now contributing a great deal more to the mankind than we would have if we were under a colonial rule, because they would never have taken us seriously. Yes, they would have used us as we use our slaves. Yes, so therefore, uh, you have to bring about change in society. And I give you one incident. In 2007, I hosted a dinner. It was called Hindu Ball. There were to celebrate the contribution of Hindu religion, Hindu culture in enriching Great Britain. It was done because at that time people used to carry Lord Rama, Lord Krishna on t-shirt, carrier bag, shoes, even toilet seats. They had no idea who Lord Rama is, how Lord Krishna is, and it was a derogatory way they were describing those two deities. So I said, look, these people have no idea. They think, some people like you, like pop star, Jimi Hendrix, or they think it's one of those Indian icon. Yes, they had. So we had to bring about change in their thinking. So we organized. I was the chairman of the Hindu Ball in the top hotel, Hotel Park Lane. We had 750 guests, elite Hindus, Sikhs, and Christians, whatever. And on top of that, we invited 30 to 40 member of parliament. And we explained to them that, this is the contribution Hindu have made to this country. Just because they don't hijack plane or they don't explode bomb, you don't have to insult them. You have to take them seriously. They're a very peace loving community. Then we gave them statistics about how they look after their parents. Yes, they don't take advantage from the social services. They keep and they invest in their children, so the children become high achiever and they pay higher income tax. So in all, they look after their younger, elderly, and children. And on top of that, the crime is very less. They're very hardworking. Pura statistic we gave them, and then they realize that, oh my God, we had no idea. And then from that day onward, every government department has a Hindu advisor on telling them what they can do or what they can't do, because they were even feeding Hindu prisoner Scotch broth, which is a beef soup, without realizing, without realizing that it is against religion totally. It's all change, but you have to bring about change yourself. It's not going to happen, So we did that, and so I'm so happy that we're doing a lot of charitable work also. And I believe,
That's nice.
as a man who had nothing, a lot of people helped me. along the way. And if you can help, God given you so much, you know, and if you can share your fortune with a less fortunate, you can change their life also. And your life will not change. Instead, you will get a lot of peace of mind. So I've done a lot of charitable work, which I encourage people. If they can do it, they should do it because make a difference. You are fortunate. Make other people fortunate through your fortune. So that's how it is. And then it looks good when you promote some good causes. You know, and you feel that God has made you worthy of doing something good.
That's such a nice thing to do. But now the question is, if you're a businessman, you're also a politician, and you're also a social activist, how do you manage your personal and professional life?
That's a good question. First of all, the business now runs on the strength of so many people. When I had started my business, I was the only one. If you remember a motorcycle, you will see the noise it makes from distance. Motorbike is coming. Yes. But if you see a car, you will not realize till it really near you because there are so many cylinders. The pressure is divided onto them. So my pressure is now divided between 150 people. So I don't have that much noise to make as a motorbike. So therefore, the business runs itself. My son-in-law is now the CEO. He runs it. I run it for a long time, and there's so many other things in life worth doing rather than just keep amassing money, 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 money. Because you know, the end of the day, when you get to my age, your requirement become lesser and lesser. You know, the irony with me is I always say, when I could afford to eat, I could not afford to buy. Now I can afford to buy, I can't afford to eat because of the weight problem and the health problem. So जब दिवाली आती थी, I used to look for mithais. Now the mithais everywhere, I just can't eat it. So it is the irony. So therefore, the business run itself, and these are my hobbies. Some people go and spend 3, 4 hours on golf course. For me, if I can do some social activities and bring about change, leave a better world for the next generation, it will be good. Otherwise, I can play 7 days a week golf, and I'll only have golf. And but there is a lot more to golf. There's a lot more to life than just playing golf. So you can play golf, but at the same time, you have social responsibility also, because no other supernatural power is going to help our country. And if we don't decide, you know, to do something about it. So action speaks louder than the rhetoric.
So now that we know that it's more like a hobby, and at this age, you would not like to give up on anything. So the question is, there must be some dreams and future projects that you have in your mind. So can you
Yes,
please tell us something about
I
that?
have a very big aim, that is to bring about peace between India and Pakistan. I was born in Pakistan, and the country was divided on religious basis because at that time people were encouraged to take something on the basis of religion, and now they have realized it doesn't work in the long run. You cannot, and diversity must be accepted, respected, and celebrated. And by destroying diversity, you actually make people intolerant, intolerant, and that can't be good for the country. And today, the state of Pakistan, we all know, is in a very peculiar situation. So I would like to build bridges between the two countries, and if I can, I've set up Pakistan, India, and UK Friendship Forum nearly 15 years ago, and I was the first person to bring people of Pakistani origin, British people of Pakistani origin, together to celebrate the 60th Independence Day in perfect harmony, and it was very successful. There's a lot of people who live in the UK. They would like to see that there is no point remaining rival forever. We have fought 4 wars. We are now nuclear adversary, and next war could be catastrophe for the whole area of the world. So therefore, I am working very closely with so many good Pakistanis who also believe that friendship is the way forward, and we don't have to have such huge armies, equipment, and state of the art men killing planes and tanks and all that when our people can't afford clean water, hygiene, health, medical, education. So that money can be used to a better use. So I think I'm quite optimistic. After COVID is over, my journey will start shuttle diplomacy, India, Pakistan, Islamabad, India, Islam, until and I think people of Pakistan respect me because they know his father was assassinated. He was made a refugee, but he's still not bitter about the partition. He still want to make a good relationship with each other, so that we can have a great trade tourism. They say when you start trading goods, you stop trading bullets. So we should do trade. We have so much in common. We have a lot of more Muslim in India than they are in Pakistan. So we should all respect each other's faith, and get on with life. Otherwise, nobody's winner. When we are consumed by hatred, then nobody's a winner. We hate, generate more hate. So I think that will be a challenge, which I am sure, I'm very optimistic. I will, with the grace of God, I will succeed. And
That's right.
then you interview me again.
That would be an honor for us to do so.
Yes, thank you.
So, in this long journey, was there any unforgettable moment or memorable event that you would like to share with our audience?
There were so many memorable events and journey, but I'll tell you the first major one was in 1999 when I won the first Queen's Award. I was invited to meet Her Majesty the Queen in Buckingham Palace. It was a journey like you see on television. President Clinton walking through the red carpet, going up the beautiful hall and the magnificent building with all the paintings and everything. So I was that time was not as affluent. So I had a battered Ford Cortina car. I, I was I took that car. My wife dressed like a Bollywood queen. She wears sari and she jewelry, and she was looking like a princess. And here I was in a better car. I went into the Buckingham Palace. The driver, I said, the guard said, driver, you can park your car here, and lady, you come with me to the upstairs to the reception. Then I said to the guard, look, sir, I have also come to meet the Queen. And he realized there was something amiss. So I said, I'm so sorry, sir. So that was a journey. And now, when I went back after a few years in my Rolls Royce, and I was reflecting back how life changes, there was a time I went there and I spent so much, this is, I remember my first and the second, and now I've been to Buckingham Palace many times. But that stuck in my mind forever. That here I was a immigrant who used to see Queen on the television, and now Queen is there to meet and shake hands with me and give me honor for what I do for the country. So that I cannot forget.
So, sir, now that everyone has come across your story, I really hope they are very inspired by listening to it. So, one last professional advice to all the upcoming entrepreneurs.
Okay, that's very, very simple advice to them. Look, if you can read my book, From Nothing to Everything, I have given all the knowledge how to start, how to be successful in life. But I can tell you, if you don't have time to buy, but you to see, read, uh, it's very simple. Uh, Knowledge is power, and less knowledge is very dangerous. You might get by, but you will not shine. Yes, in order for you to shine, you have to be perfectionist. So whatever you do, you must make sure that you do it to the best of your ability, that people wow factor. And I always give example of two medical students who go to same medical college, they study same subject, same length of time, same books by same professor, and end up getting the same MBBS degree. Yet one end up practicing in a very prestigious place. In UK, there's a street called Harley Street, where all the top surgeons practice. And the other end up practicing in ordinary clinic. What is the difference? Why they ended up in two separate places, different places? The answer is very simple. The person in Harley Street, the top surgeon, will spend a great deal of time trying to diagnose his patient correctly. If need be, he will take a second opinion, third opinion. He is never in rush. Once he has diagnosed the person correctly with the help of his colleagues, oh, he will then think again the best course of treatment. But unfortunately, the man in the ordinary clinic has no time to think about all these things. He's in constant rush. He will just say, okay, take two Panadol and next. So he is not interested in maintaining his honor, respect. Yes. So when you maintain your respect, you earn more. People will pay more for your services. You will pay more to that doctor than to the doctor whose success rate is very less. So therefore, uh, excellence endures long after everything else is forgotten. So therefore, you must strive for excellence. Yeah, quality control. You must say that I am the best. I'm going to give you the best. And finally, I will give you analogy. The should not business to approach should not be like a hunter who goes for a quick kill. Instead, it should be like a farmer who works over the year for a bumper crop. So there are no shortcuts to success. If you are not willing to get your hand dirty or to sacrifice or to spend time working your dreams, you will not realize the fruit at the end of the journey.
That was one nice message, sir. And as the name of the show is Success Stories, so if you had to define success, how would it be?
Now, success comes in many forms. Yes, for a child, if he can stand up, is a success. For me, when I could ride a bicycle, was success. And I think success to me, I will sum up in a way. There are many ways you can be successful, but if your success benefits others and people appreciate it, I think you are truly successful. That your success in generating some good vibes. And for me to be on your show, for me, it's a success that my effort, my work, my achievement, whatever they are, have been recognized by others. And, your value is determined by other people. I used to think I was going to be a hero in Bombay, but there you are. Yes, because uh, so success is determined by others, and if people think your success is good for the world, good for the society, then I think you're a success, no matter what you do.
That's nice. So we have come to the end of the show, and before we bid a farewell to you, sir, one last message for our viewers.
My last message is very simple, that look, take pride in yourself. You are special, you're unique, you have all the qualities God has given you. Some of you have more than others. In my case, I had very little, but remain positive, remain optimistic. Yes, and all you will achieve what you desire to achieve. If you don't have goal, you must set yourself some goal. You just ambition is very good. An ambitious person benefit himself, his family, his community, his country. But you don't have to be ruthless, where you are treading on other people's toe for your success. So be successful, because your success will generate a lot of benefit. For example, we sustain thousands of jobs, British jobs, and that success is, very important, because you have given employment to so many people and they're happy. So my advice to all you people are that I'm sure you are born with a little bit more than me, yes, and therefore you have a little bit more responsibility to make the most of what God has given you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful advice. And we really hope that all the viewers who are watching this episode of Success Stories will ponder upon it and they will follow it for sure.
Thank you, Alka. Thank you. You've been very gracious. You didn't trip me. You didn't ask any difficult question. So I'm grateful.
No, in fact, we are thankful to you for taking out such valuable time and being on this episode of Success Stories. It was an honor for us to have you here with us today.
I'm glad if my story, my life can inspire anybody else and they can achieve something, then my life is my program this we have done is worth it.
So, thank you so much, sir. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today and being a part of Success Stories talk show. And to watch more such episodes and more such stories, please stay tuned on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.